Hello friends, welcome to JK Shah classes. Professor Nihit Zaveri welcoming you on behalf of JK Shah classes. Today we will be revising this chapter called Appeals and Revision. It is chapter 20 of Income Tax Act, an important chapter. This chapter is divided into two parts, appeals and revision. Appeal basically means lodging a complaint. We will not go according to the dictionary meaning of the word appeal. Dictionary meaning of appeal means requesting somebody. I appeal to general public to donate blood. That is the meaning of appeal as per dictionary, but here appeal would mean lodging a complaint. A complaint can be lodged only with the higher authority, cannot be lodged with any lower authority or any equivalent authority. If AO has passed the order, one has to go to above AO, one cannot go to another AO to lodge a complaint, one cannot go to lower authority. Appellate hierarchy. Here in Income Tax Act, we have 4 levels of appellate hierarchy. After AO passes the order, the appeal shall lie to CIT appeal or JCIT appeal, Joint Commissioner or Commissioner appeal. Above that will be Income Tax Appellate Tribunal, ITAT, called as ITAT. Thereafter High Court and thereafter Supreme Court. There are time limits applicable. Appeal has to be filed in a prescribed form and one has to pay the prescribed fees. Appeal cannot be filed free of cost, cannot be filed on a plain piece of paper. Now all the proceedings of this chapter are converted into a faceless proceeding at each and every level. There won't be any personal face-to-face interaction with any authority. First authority is JCIT appeal. Section numbers applicable are section 246 to section 251 and CIT appeal. Now JCIT appeal and CIT appeal both are at par here. They will be called as first appellate authority. For CIT appeal, section numbers are 246A to section 251. Time limit to apply for appeal is 30 days. 30 days from the date on which assessee received demand notice, and if demand notice is not received, then 30 days from the date of receipt of copy of order which is sought to be appealed against. There will be number of CIT appeals or JCIT appeals in any given jurisdiction. For example, Mumbai is a finance capital of the country. In Mumbai city, there will be more than 40 CIT appeals or JCIT appeal. Now, when to file appeal to JCIT appeal and when to file appeal to CIT appeal? For that, I would like you to take you back to section 2 clause 7A, which we had discussed in some chapter called Income Tax Authorities and their powers. Assessing officer is defined in section 2 clause 7A, which means 5 people: additional CIT, joint CIT, deputy CIT, assistant CIT and ITO. Now, when to go to JCIT appeal, when to go to CIT appeal? So, in case if the authority passing the order, the original AO is anybody below Joint Commissioner. If AO is deputy, assistant or ITO, then first appeal shall lie to JCIT appeal. And in case if the AO passing the order is JCIT himself or additional CIT, that is a rank higher than JCIT or JCIT himself, then as we discussed, appeal cannot be filed with an equivalent authority. So JCIT's order cannot be appealed against that JCIT appeal. It will be an equivalent authority. Then in such situation, appeal shall lie to CIT appeal. CIT appeal. Both of them will be called as first appeal. But imagine in case if the AO is so and so, but the order is passed by CIT, Commissioner of Income Tax or Principal Commissioner of Income Tax, then in such situation, first appeal shall directly lie to ITAT. One cannot go to CIT appeal, it will be equivalent authority. For example, order is passed by CIT, PCIT in a charitable trust chapter, public charitable trust chapter, where you as a trust apply for registration, CIT, PCIT refuse to grant you registration, or after granting registration, CIT, PCIT passes an order cancelling your registration. So, if the order is passed by CIT, PCIT, one has to directly go to ITAT. ITAT will be first appellate authority. Otherwise, ITAT is a second appeal. It is called as second appeal. There is the time limit to file appeal to ITAT. JCIT, CIT appeal are done. 30 days is the time limit. Delay can be condoned. So, 30 days can be little bit up and down. However, how many days of delay can be condoned? That is not clarified in the Act. But delay can be condoned only if assessee has or the appellant has justifiable reasons. First appeal can be filed only by assessee because the order is passed by department. So, department will not file appeal against his own order. Therefore, first appeal has to come from assessee. Second appeal and onwards, both the parties can file appeal. Assessee can also file, department can also file appeal against order of previous authority. Next level is ITAT, Income Tax Appellate Tribunal, more popularly called as ITAT. Here the time limit to file appeal has been slightly changed. Section numbers are section 252 to section 255. Appeal had to be filed within 60 days from the date of receipt of copy of order which is sought to be appeal against. 60 days. Here also delay could be condoned by ITAT. However, this 60 days time limit will prevail up to 30th September 24. If the appeal is filed on or after 1st October 24, then the time limit is slightly changed by Nirmala Sitharamanji. Time limit shall now be 2 months from the end of the month. Earlier it was 60 days. Now it is 2 months. 2 months is also almost 60 days, but slightly more than 60 days because it is 2 months from the end of the month as compared to 60 days from the date. 60 days from the date, and here 2 months from the end of the month in which copy of order of previous authority is received, whosoever's order is to be appeal against. Then High Court and then Supreme Court. Time limit to file appeal to High Court will be 120 days. 120 days from the date of receipt of copy of order of previous authority, ITAT. But from ITAT, one can go to High Court only if it involves a substantial question of law. If it involves only question of fact, then ITAT's order is final, binding, conclusive. There are two types of questions, question of fact and question of law. If the appeal involves only question of fact means something the answering of which requires knowledge of factual data, does not require knowledge of law. And question of law means something the answering of which requires knowledge of law or the legal position. If it involves question of law, then one can go to High Court and then Supreme Court. But in case if it involves question of fact, then ITAT is the final fact finding authority. Time limit for High Court is 120 days from the date of receipt of copy of order of ITAT, and for Supreme Court it is 90 days from the date of receipt of copy of order of High Court. However, all the four authorities have the power to condone the delay. JCIT CIT appeal 30 days, ITAT 60 days or 2 months, High Court 120 days. But if you observe, the time limit keeps doubling up. Time limits are important from exam perspective. Our institute has asked many questions on time limit along with the power to condone the delay. 90 days in case you are approaching Supreme Court. So at Supreme Court level, the time limit does not double. 30, double 60, double 120, but 120 does not become 240 when you go to Supreme Court. It remains, it gets reduced. Appeal to CIT appeal, JCIT appeal called First Appellate Authority. So and so section number. First point, I already explained you when to go to JCIT appeal, when to go to CIT appeal. Okay. Now order sought to be appeal against. Order was passed by income tax authority below the rank of JCIT. Then first appeal shall lie to JCIT appeal. The order sought to be appeal against was passed by income tax authority above the rank of deputy commissioner, that is JCIT or above JCIT, additional CIT is passed, then first appeal shall lie to CIT appeal. Time limit is 30 days from the date of receipt of demand notice or copy of order sought to be appeal against. Delay can however be condoned by all the four authorities, and that is an important point. You will have to remember time limit also and the power to condone the delay. However, in case appeal is filed to JCIT or CIT appeal, form number applicable will be form number 35. As I told you, appeal cannot be filed on a plain piece of paper. Appeal will be on form 35. Now it is to be submitted online. So form 35 will contain the basic details, the name of the assessee, address, PAN number, assessment year, who is the AO, who passed the order, under which section the order is passed, etc. Second will be, along with form 35, one has to submit statement of facts, grounds of appeal. In statement of facts, it will be on your own stationery. Type it out on a Word file, convert it into Excel or convert it into PDF form, and that PDF file is to be submitted electronically. Form 35, which is appeal filing form, statement of facts where assessee will describe the entire history geography of the appeal, what exactly happened with him. Grounds of appeal where assessee will raise his points. Again, type it out on a Word file, convert it into PDF, submit it online. Along with that, assessee has to attach the copy of order which he wants to appeal against, assessment order, reassessment order, etc. and the proof of payment of fees. Fees will be payable, fees will be ranging between 250 rupees to 1000 rupees depending upon amount of assessed income. Fee structure is never asked in the exam. This entire bunch is called Memorandum of Appeal, and it shall be filed electronically. This point, form number is also irrelevant from exam perspective. Okay, important point. Now, in order to file appeal to CIT appeal or JCIT appeal, is it necessary to first make payment of the disputed tax? For example, assessee files IT return disclosing an income of 6 lakhs. Income tax on 6 lakhs works out to be 33,800, let's say under old tax regime, or maybe assessee is not an individual, whatever it may be. AO makes an addition of 5 lakh rupees and total income thus becomes 11 lakh rupees. In this case, 6 lakhs is called as returned income. The income disclosed by assessee in the IT return is called returned income, and the amount of income on which assessment takes place, that is called assessed income. Okay, now the total tax works out to be 148,200 on 11 lakh rupees of income. That means an addition of 1,14,400. This is called as disputed tax liability or additional income tax liability. My question is assessee required to first make payment of this in order to file appeal? So answer has been clarified that no need to pay this. Disputed amount need not be paid for filing appeal. The time limit to make payment of this is 30 days, and that will be mentioned in the demand notice that pay within 30 days from the date of receipt of demand notice. At the same time limit to file appeal is also 30 days, though delay can be condoned, but 30 days. So whatever is the time limit to file appeal, same is the time limit to make payment. If assessee once files appeal, say 25th day he filed appeal without paying this, but assessee will have to make payment within next 5 more days. If he does not pay, then AO might hand over the matter to TRO, tax recovery officer, who has a power to attach bank accounts, freeze bank accounts, or attach properties of the assessee. So question is whether this is required to be paid or not. The answer, in such situation, after filing appeal, one can approach AO. As per CBDT circular of 2017, assessee, when he approaches AO, assessee will have to pay 20% of the same right now, pay 20%, balance 80% stay will be granted, and the stay granted by AO is not called as stay, it is called as keeping the amount in abeyance. Amount is kept in abeyance. Abeyance means will be kept pending. Till what date? Answer, till the date of finalization of appeal by CIT appeal. But if you ask me question whether, sir, for filing appeal whether this is required to be paid or not, answer, for filing appeal nothing is required to be paid, but if you don't pay, then AO will initiate recovery proceeding. To stop recovery proceeding, you will have to pay 20% by contacting AO. So that's a different concept. So it says that in order to maintain appeal, assessee should have paid the tax due on the amount of income returned by him. Amount of income returned by him means assessee should have paid this much tax, whatever is as per IT return, whatever he has accepted. That much tax he should have paid, no need to pay this disputed tax. Or if IT return is not filed, then assessee should have paid that much tax, which is equivalent to advance tax payable by him, How do you find out how much is advance tax payable by him? So first of all, if IT return is not filed, AO must have completed best judgment assessment under section 144. Say best judgment assessment is completed on 20 lakh rupees of income, 20 lakh rupees. Now question is, on what amount assessee is filing appeal? Supposedly out of 20 lakh rupees of assessed income, assessee files appeal on 12 lakh rupees. If assessee is filing appeal on challenging 12 lakh rupees, that means indirectly assessee is admitting 8 lakh rupees, that 8 lakh rupees of income he is accepting. Whatever is a tax on 8 lakh rupees, that much will be called as advance tax payable by him. In simple language, no need to pay the disputed tax to file the appeal. Question has come on this particular point once only, therefore you need to do it. Appeal once filed can be withdrawn, but before the first date of hearing. Once the hearing start, assessee can still withdraw, but then he has to clarify reasons, he has to justify the reason why is he withdrawing. Electronic appeal, e-filing appeal. Now entire CIT appeal, JCIT appeal, entire proceeding at this level will be in an electronic manner. Since from the beginning, from filing appeal till the hearings, all hearings will take place electronically, no need to visit anybody. Next layer is ITAT section 252 to 255, which is called second appeal. Now ITAT comprises of president, vice president and two types of members. President, vice president, members. Members can be either judicial member or accountant member. Two types of member. Judicial member means such a member who has got good knowledge of judiciary system, and the accountant member, as the name indicates, has a very good knowledge of accountancy. Accountant member is abbreviated as AM and judicial member is abbreviated as JM. Short form is JM, AM. These members are not only members, they are basically judges of ITAT. Judicial member, accountant member. Now at ITAT level, there is a typical courtroom type of structure. Nowadays it doesn't matter because appeal is to be filed electronically, e-filing. So assessee has not to personally go. Otherwise, those who have an experience of personally visiting ITAT would be knowing that it's a typical courtroom. This courtroom is called, what you have seen in movies, that courtroom is called as bench. So decisions are taken by a bench, and bench means courtroom or a panel of judges. Three types of benches are there. Number one, single member bench, SMB, division bench, DB, and special member bench, SMB. Single member bench will comprise of exactly one member, that is one judge. Division bench will comprise of exactly two members, which is called division bench, DB. And SMB, special member bench or special bench, again SB, this will comprise of odd number of members, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13, etc. So generally what happens is, when you file appeal to ITAT, the matter 99% case will be handled by division bench, which will comprise of two judges. But in case, if it is a small case means a case where amount of assessed income is up to 50 lakh, then that is called small case. For small cases where assessed income involved is up to 50 lakhs, then president himself will handle it, or president will constitute a single member bench where either judicial member or accountant member will be there, and he will dispose of the appeal. On this 50 lakh question has not yet come. Simply for small cases, they would not want to occupy resources, they would not want to occupy 2 judges. So single member bench. Otherwise 99% cases are handled by division bench. However, in the division bench, if the matter which comprises of two members, if the matter is complicated, then they will contact the members of division bench will contact president of ITAT that, sir, here complicated matter is involved, we will require more judges, and then president will constitute larger bench by introducing one more member. But if they find necessary, it will be special member bench. But in case of special bench requires furthermore number of members, then two more members will be added, it will become 5 member bench called larger bench, simple language, special bench. Okay, so on this 50 lakh matter, question has not come, but the next paragraph is very important. Questions have come multiple times. In case if members of ITAT have a difference of opinion, that means they differ on opinion on a particular point, then how to decide that point? So point 1, in case there is a difference of opinion, they will decide that point based on opinion of majority of them. However, if there is no clear majority, means members are equally divided, which generally happens in case of division bench, can happen in case of special bench also. Say special bench had 7 members, matter was going on since past 6-7 years. Now on the last moment, one of the member retires or is transferred, then it becomes 6 member bench, and they are equally divided 3:3, then in that case we can say members are equally divided. If members are equally divided on that particular point, then that particular point on which there is a difference of opinion will be referred to president of ITAT, or only that point and not the entire matter. That point will then be decided by president of ITAT by exercising his casting vote, or president will refer that particular point to be heard by another member, and then decision will now be taken according to the opinion of majority. This is an important point, keep it in your mind. Institute has asked questions couple of times that in case there is a difference of opinion amongst members, then the matter cannot be decided, discuss. Answer no, it can be decided. 2 points. Number 1, it will be decided according to the opinion of the majority of them. But if there is no majority, then that particular matter on which members are equally divided, that only that point will be referred to president, and president will either exercise casting vote or president will refer that matter to be heard by another member, and then decision will be taken according to the opinion of the majority of them. Time limit to file appeal to ITAT has been changed from 1st October 2024. Earlier it was 60 days from the date of receipt of copy of order sought to be appealed against. Now it is 2 months from the end of the month in which copy of order sought to be appealed against was received. Delay can be condoned by ITAT if ITAT is satisfied with the reasons reasons for the delay. However, you need to remember this is important point from exam perspective. Okay, appeal is to be filed, next point is unimportant, appeal to be filed in form number 36 plus statement of facts and grounds of appeal. As I said earlier, at CIT appeal, JCIT appeal level it will be form 35, here it will be form 36, remaining things will remain same. Form 36 plus statement of facts where you describe the history geography of the matter, plus grounds of appeal where you raise your points on what points you have a difficulty, on what points you have a grievance, on what points you have a complaint, plus copy of order sought to be appealed against. Here you will attach CIT appeals order along with AO's order also, and appeal filing fees. Here appeal filing fees will again depend upon the amount of assessed income. There is some concept called memorandum of cross objection. Now here this is second appeal, appeal can be filed by assessee also, department also. Fee structure I have not covered here, fees is not relevant. Assessee files the appeal, fees will be payable, department files appeal, then no fees payable, free of cost, no fees. Secondly, no fees payable in case if any of them files memorandum of cross objection. This entire bunch, form 36, statement of facts, grounds of appeal, is called as memorandum of appeal. It had to be in triplicate, but now since it is to be filed online electronically, the question of duplicate, triplicate, quadruplicate does not arise, file only once. Now there is something called, this is memorandum of appeal. Now you have filed appeal, the other party can be department or assessee, whosoever, the other party, that is the respondent, can file memorandum of cross objection in form number 36A, can be filed by respondent free of cost. If department is the appellant, then assessee will be respondent. If assessee is the appellant, department will be respondent. It is to be filed free of cost. 4 points, 1, 2, 3 and 4 point. 36A form number, respondent, free of cost, and it is to be filed within 30 days. 30 days from what? 30 days from the date of receipt of notice of hearing. So today department files the appeal against you. After 1.5 years, your hearing will start. ITAT will issue notice of hearing to both the parties that now your matter is picked up. Both the parties produce your documents, produce your arguments, give it to us. Now they will start studying your matter. So whenever the notice of hearing is sent to the assessee or the respondent, 30 days from that day, assessee or the department can file memorandum of cross objection. Memorandum of cross objection, up till now only question has come only once for 2 marks, otherwise unimportant. Then faceless appeal concept, CIT appeal level also, ITAT level also, everything has been converted to faceless. Time limit for ITAT to dispose of the appeal, it says wherever possible, ITAT shall try to dispose of the appeal within a period of 4 years from the end of the financial year. 4 years from the end of the financial year in which appeal was presented to it. However, it says wherever possible. If possible, they should try, generally not possible. However, time limit is unimportant because it is wherever possible. So it's not a binding time limit. However, next paragraph is very important. Questions are asked. In case a stay is granted by ITAT, ITAT has a power to grant stay of proceedings, stay of recovery proceeding upon payment of 500 rupees of fees. However, that does not mean anybody who pays 500 rupees stay will be granted. Stay may be granted, may not be granted depending on the merits or demerits of the case, but non-refundable filing fees of 500 rupees is payable by whosoever wants to apply for stay. Say you as an assessee applied for stay, if ITAT has granted stay, stay will be valid for a period of 180 days, which is approximately 6 months. Then ITAT will try to dispose of the appeal within that 180 days. Priority will be given to you. 180 days you will have to remember. However, if 180 day expires and if appeal is not disposed of, appeal is not decided yet, then assessee applicant can apply for extension of the stay. If ITAT is satisfied that appeal could not be disposed of within 180 days, not because of assessee, because of other factors, then ITAT may grant extension. Extension will be granted in such a way that the total period of stay should not exceed 365 days. The total period of stay should not exceed 365, including first initial 180. That means if the stay was granted for 180 days, it can be extended by 185 days. Whether it is a leap year or a non-leap year, total time should not exceed 365, should not become 366. Even in case of leap year, it will be 365 days. However, amendments were carried out. If you recollect, sometimes back I told you that once you file appeal against AO's order, when you file appeal to CIT appeal or JCIT appeal, you will have to pay something out of disputed amount. Something means 20% as per CBDT circular of 2017. 20% you pay right now, 80% will be stay will be granted, which is called keeping the amount in abeyance. Till what date it will be kept in abeyance? Answer: it will be kept in abeyance till the time CIT appeal or JCIT appeal dispose of the appeal. Once they dispose of the appeal, assessee can go to ITAT, but before that, stay granted by AO has come to an end. The moment CIT appeal, JCIT appeal pass their order against the assessee, stay comes to an end. AO will once again start initiating recovery proceeding for this balance 80% which is yet to be paid. In the meantime, when assessee files appeal to ITAT, now assessee has to pay 500 rupees and apply to ITAT for the stay. Stay is granted by ITAT, then valid for 180 days. But now amendment made 2-3 years back saying that even when you apply for stay at ITAT, at that level also, in case you have not paid this 20% at AO level, then this 20% will now have to be paid at ITAT level. Now you pay 20%, either assessee should have paid 20%, AY 2021 onwards, during corona time amendments were made. Stay or extension will be granted only if assessee has either deposited 20% or greater than 20% of tax, interest, penalty, etc., 20% of disputed amount, or he has at least given security, furnished security of the equal amount. Then only stay will be granted, or then only stay will be extended. However, paying 20% at ITAT level will now arise only when 20% was not paid at AO level or 20% was not paid at the time of applying for extension. Then assessee will now have to pay while granting extension. 6th point is very important. ITAT's order on question of fact will be final, binding and conclusive. No appeal can be filed with the High Court if it involves only question of fact. Question of fact means something the answering of which requires knowledge of factual data. There are two types of questions. One is question of fact, another is question of law. If it is question of law, then one can go to High Court. So this is a very important point. On this, questions have come at least 7-8 times. Final, binding, conclusive. Okay. However, if something very wrong has happened with the assessee and he is not allowed to go to High Court because it involves question of fact, then no need to worry. One can file a writ petition, that is, petition means application and writ means in writing. Writ petition would mean application in writing under Article 226 of the Constitution of India in exceptional cases, not in all cases. The next point is comparative analysis between powers of CIT appeal, JCIT appeal on one hand and powers of ITAT on the other hand. There are 15 powers which I have made comparison, and that is very important. But before that, the last point for ITAT, time limit for ITAT to pass rectificational order. If you recollect, we had discussed one chapter called Rectification of Mistake, section 154-155. Section 154 empowers the authorities to pass rectified order up to 4 years from the end of financial year in which order containing mistake was passed. However, ITAT is not an income tax authority and this section is applicable to only income tax authority. So AO, CIT appeal, JCIT appeal can rectify up to 4 years under 154 because 154 is for income tax authorities. However, ITAT is not an income tax authority. So for ITAT, there is a separate section 254 where the time limit available to ITAT is 6 months from the end of the month in which order was passed by ITAT containing mistake. So ITAT can rectify the mistake on its own or on an application by assessee within 6 months from the end of the month in which the original order was passed. Okay, that is an important point on which questions have come twice up till now in last so many years. Okay, earlier there was no power to rectify or power was there but time limit was not given. Now since past couple of years time limit has been decided 6 months. That 6 months you will have to remember. It was decided around in 2015-16 somewhere. Okay, comparative analysis between powers of these authorities. The first power is power to enhance the assessment. Enhancing means increasing. Increasing what? Enhancing or increasing the assessment or penalty. Assessment here would mean income, additions made by AO. Enhancing the assessment would mean enhancing the additions made by AO. Whatever additions were made by AO by way of income or disallowance of expenditure or penalty. CIT appeal can make further more increase. means what? Means supposingly IT return is filed by assessee disclosing income of 7 lakh rupees. AO under 143.3 made an addition of 2 lakh rupees and completed assessment on 9 lakh rupees. Assessee agreed with this 2 lakh rupees of addition by AO. Assessee files appeal. Now appellate authority CIT appeal wants to make further addition. Rather than deleting 2 lakh rupees, CIT appeal wants to make further addition. Is that allowed? Answer: that is allowed. CIT appeal wants to make further addition of 3 lakh and complete assessment on 12 lakh rupees. CIT appeal can do this. This is called power to enhance the assessment. However, ITAT cannot do this, but that does not mean ITAT cannot actually do it. ITAT can do it, but how? ITAT can do it indirectly, not directly. ITAT itself cannot make addition. ITAT can send it back to AO, or ITAT will just decide the appeal. In that appellate order, ITAT will issue a direction to AO requiring AO to make further addition, or requiring AO to charge penalty, or requiring AO to increase the penalty. That is called CIT appeal has the power, or JCIT appeal, but ITAT does not have power, means directly it cannot do. ITAT is an adjudicating authority, AO is an executing authority. ITAT will only adjudicate, will decide what to do, but actual doing it or actual execution is the part of AO. AO will do it. But CIT appeal, powers of CIT appeal are at par with AO. Whatever an AO can do, CIT appeal, JCIT appeal can also do that. CIT appeal, JCIT appeal are not only adjudicating authority, they are executing authority also. So they cannot send it back to AO, they will themselves have to complete it, or they will themselves have to make the addition, pass the order. After this table is over, I made a note here with an asterisk mark that powers of JCIT appeal, CIT appeal are said to be coterminous and coextensive with that of an AO. Whatever an AO can do, these people can also do that. Okay. Thereafter, second power is power to reduce the assessment. Reduction is opposite of addition, opposite of enhancement. Both of them have the power to do this. Third is power to confirm the assessment. AO has made addition of 2 lakh rupees. CIT appeal, JCIT appeal or ITAT are agreeing with that 2 lakh rupees is proper. Then they don't want to make any changes. Then that power is called power to confirm the assessment. Both of them have this power. Next, power to annul the assessment. Annulling means making it null. Null means nil. Nil means zero. Simply, power to declare the order to be void or nullify the effect, making the effect zero. Whatever additions are made by AO, declaring entire order to be void and removing all the effects of whatever AO has done, reversing that. Ideally, this is done in case where AO has passed the order beyond the time limit permissible under section 153. Both of them have this power. Fifth power is important, power to set aside or cancel the order, original order, and send it back to AO or send it back to TPO with a direction to pass fresh order or to make the whole assessment again. This point we discussed already in assessment procedure chapter, section 153 subsection 3, where AO will have some extra time limit to pass such fresh order. Original order is cancelled, fresh order is directed. For passing fresh order, AO will get extra time limit. However, this could be done only by ITAT, cannot be done by CIT appeal, JCIT appeal. For a reason, CIT appeal, JCIT can cancel or set aside the order, they can, but they cannot send it back to AO with a direction to pass fresh order, because CIT appeal, JCIT appeal are at par with AO. They can cancel the order of AO, but they cannot send it back to AO. They themselves will have to pass the fresh order, because they are not only adjudicating authority, they are executing authority also. Same reason, I would like to take you back to this asterisk mark table or asterisk mark point, that powers of CIT appeal, JCIT appeal are coterminous and coextensive with that of an AO. Whatever an AO can do, these people can also do that. However, amendment made here on 23rd July 2024 budget, 1st October onwards, CIT appeal can cancel, but not JCIT appeal, only CIT appeal. ITAT already has this power. Now the power is made available to CIT appeal also, but CIT appeal, which were not allowed to do, CIT appeal can cancel, but only one order, that is order of best judgment under section 144. Order of AO under 144 can be cancelled by CIT appeal and send it back to AO. 6th point, power to condone any delay. We know pretty well this power is available to all 4 of them. Here we are comparing between only 2 of them. Power is available to both of them. 7th power is unimportant. 6th power is important from exam perspective. 7 power is power to conduct inquiries. Inquiries as in not only from assessee or department but from other people also, outsiders also. This power is inherently available to both of them, but it is an unimportant point from exam perspective. Next is power to rectify mistake. Power to rectify mistake in their own order, apparent in their own order. Apparent means glaring on the face of the record. This power is also available to both of them, but as I explained you, CIT appeal, JCIT appeal is an income tax authority. Therefore, they have the power under section 154 with 4 years time limit, whereas ITAT is not an income tax authority. Therefore, they will have to rectify. They have a separate section, section 254 with a time limit of 6 months from the end of the month in which order was passed. Power to review its own order. Review means reconsidering their own order. We have in this chapter only, the second half of this chapter is of revision. Revision, review, reappreciate is one and the same. In cricket, IPL, in case you are watching, then there is something called DRS, Decision Review System. So that DRS and this is same only. So DRS or review basically means a situation where decision is already taken. In cricket, the ground umpire has already taken decision. Now, one of the IPL team requests for the DRS and the third umpire sitting inside, he will watch it with the slow motion and he will decide finally. If the third umpire reverses the decision of ground umpire, then that is called review. Review means changing the decision or reconsidering the decision of another authority, lower authority, and taking a different decision, that is called review. Review power is not available to either of them. So, in case assessee not comfortable with their order, then assessee has to file further appeal but cannot request these people to reconsider their decision. And which is an important point. Rectification and review both are important points, important power. Rectification power is available to them, review power is not available to them. Sometimes institute asks questions whether these authorities can amend their orders or not. It's a tricky question. You need to write diplomatic answer. Amending the order means changing the order, and change can be made in two ways. Can be made by way of rectifying the mistake or can be done by way of reviewing their order. So, diplomatic answer, if the amendment in their order is in the nature of rectification, then this power is available to them with different time limits. But in case if the amendment is in the nature of review of their own order, then that power is not available to them. Power to admit additional grounds of appeal means appeal has been filed on 4 matters. Now assessee wants to raise 2 extra matters for any reason. If satisfied, then CIT appeal, JCIT appeal, ITAT, both of them have the power to allow assessee to raise extra grounds. However, generally while filing the appeal in form number 35, assessee applicant would always make a note. Assessee will write one disclaimer that appellant reserves the right. In form number 35, while filing appeal, assessee would always put a disclaimer that the appellant reserves the right to add, delete or modify any of the data or add, delete extra grounds of appeal, and then accordingly assessee can add extra grounds later and they will allow the assessee. They have a power to allow. It's a discretionary power depending upon facts and circumstances of the case. Power to admit additional evidence. This is an important point. Many questions have come on this point, power to admit additional grounds of appeal and power to admit additional evidences. Additional evidences ideally are not allowable. So, at AO level for your appeal, you submitted 9 evidences. So, now you cannot bring into picture 10th evidence, you cannot bring into picture 10th material which can impact the decision. If you would have furnished that evidence at AO level, then probably decision would have been different. Now that 10th evidence cannot be produced logically, but in exceptional cases, these people allow, they have the power, but I have put some marking. CIT appeal, JCIT appeal can allow the assessee to produce additional evidence only in 4 specific circumstances which are given in Rule 46A of Income Tax Rule, and ITAT can allow in 2 circumstances, 2 exceptional circumstances which are given in Rule 29 of Appellate Tribunal Rules. These circumstances are important, questions are asked. I will show you in 2 minutes. Before that, power to grant stay of recovery proceeding. So here ITAT definitely has a power to grant stay upon payment of 500 rupees of fees. ITAT will grant stay for 180 days originally, can be extended in such a way that total time does not exceed 365 days. We have studied all these things, therefore act is pretty clear that power is available. But as far as JCIT appeal, CIT appeal is concerned, Act is silent about it. Act neither says no, power is not there, and nor does it say yes, that there is a power. Act is simply silent on it. So we have a Madras High Court decision of CIT versus Paulson's Litho Works 1999, where Madras High Court stated that this power is inherently available. Power emanates from CPC, Code of Civil Procedure 1908, and because these people, CIT appeal, JCIT appeal, are kind of appellate authority, being an appellate authority, power to grant stay is inherently available, automatically available as per CPC. So even if Income Tax Act is silent about it, then also power is automatically available. For how many days and what will be the fees? Fees is not mentioned. So Madras High Court said if fees is not mentioned, then this power can be exercised free of cost. Time period, time of stay, because ITAT has a power to grant stay for 180 days, can be extended up to 365 days, period is mentioned. Here period is not clarified, then till the time CIT appeal or JCIT appeal disposes of the appeal, till that time power will be available to grant stay. And again Madras High Court reiterated this point, that powers of CIT appeal, JCIT appeal are at par with AO's power, are at par with or coterminous and coextensive with that of an AO. If AO can grant stay, sometimes like I told you, as per CBDT circular, one can pay 20% at AO level, and for 80% stay will be granted, which is called abeyance, keeping the amount in abeyance. So when AO, being a lower authority, AO can grant stay to the tune of 80%, why can't CIT appeal grant stay? Therefore power is available, but Act is silent about it. If a question comes, up till now only one question has come. If a question comes, please write a diplomatic answer, yes also and no also. Okay, 13 point, power to decide any other matter which is not agitated. Not agitated means not appeal against, means assessee files appeal only on 12 issues. Supposingly, in grounds of appeal, assessee has covered 12 issues. Now, CIT appeal, JCIT appeal or ITAT, apart from deciding these 12 issues, they want to decide some other matter also, then that is called power to decide any extra matter. This power is available to both of them. Power to award cost, totally unimportant. Awarding a cost does not mean giving any reward. Awarding a cost is same as imposing a fine. Imposing a fine. In case of frivolous appeal means those appeal which are baseless appeal, don't make any sense, such kind of appeal. Those appeals which do not stand the test of judicial sustainability. Those appeals which do not stand the test of judicial sustainability are called as frivolous appeal. In case of that, only ITAT has a power to impose a fine or award a cost. CIT appeal cannot do that, because this power is available only to a court. High Court can do it, Supreme Court can do it, ITAT is also a court, therefore it can do it. CIT appeal is not a court, they cannot do it. Last, power to reject the appeal. This power is available to both of them. What could be the reason for rejection? On this question has come only once on this point. Rejection could be, number 1, appeal is filed not in a prescribed form, form 35 or form 36. Appeal is filed on a plain piece of paper or a wrong form. Second reason, appeal is not filed within the time limit. It is filed beyond time limit without any justifiable reason. Or third possibility, assessee has not paid the fees for filing appeal, or paid but not attached the proof along with filing appeal. Or appeal is filed on a matter which is not appealable. Not every order is appealable. There are certain orders which cannot be appealed against. So appeal is filed on those matters. Okay, now we were discussing about this. Power to admit additional evidences, point number 11, power is available to both of them under 4 circumstances and 2 circumstances. So what are these circumstances? Circumstances are given in Rule 46A. Rule 46A of Income Tax Rule, 4 circumstances for CIT appeal, JCIT appeal. And Rule 29 of Appellate Tribunal Rules, 2 circumstances where ITAT can admit. What are these circumstances? Number 1, in case at CIT appeal, JCIT appeal level. Number 1, in case where AO refused to admit a particular evidence as an evidence which he should have admitted. AO refused to admit. CIT appeal is fine with that, or JCIT appeal is fine with that. Meaning thereby, particular document assessee submitted to AO during the proceeding before AO, AO says, I will not accept this document as an evidence. This I don't treat it as evidence. For example, assessee has claimed Mediclaim premium ATD deduction under section ATD. AO demanded for copy of premium receipt, that you furnished a premium receipt. Assessee had misplaced it. Assessee furnished bank statement. AO refused to admit bank statement as an evidence. AO says in your bank statement there is an entry, agreed, but that does not prove that it is paid by you for yourself. Maybe you might have paid for some third party, and third party also claims deduction based on mediclaim received. You are also claiming deduction based on bank statement entry. But CIT appeal is ready to accept bank statement as an evidence. Second possibility, assessee was called upon by AO to furnish a particular evidence. AO demanded that you produce this evidence, but assessee could not furnish at that time due to some unavoidable reason, and now assessee is able to furnish at CIT appeal, JCIT appeal or ITET level. Then CIT appeal has the power to admit. Third possibility, assessee wanted to furnish some evidence on his own. AO did not call upon. Assessee thought that this particular evidence could work. Assessee wanted to furnish, but assessee could not furnish at AO level due to some sufficient cause, that means due to some unavoidable reason. Now assessee is able to bring it to the CIT appeal or ITET or JCIT appeal. CIT appeal, JCIT appeal can admit it. Last, in case where CIT appeal, JCIT appeal, they are satisfied that AO has made the order or passed the order without giving sufficient opportunity to the assessee to produce the evidence. Opportunity is given but not sufficient opportunity, then CIT appeal or JCIT appeal can admit that evidence. Point to be noted, no additional evidence can be taken into account by CIT appeal, JCIT appeal unless reasons are recorded in writing and unless AO is given an opportunity to cross-examine those evidences or cross-examine the witnesses produced by assessee. And number 3, no additional evidence can be taken into account by CIT, JCIT appeal unless AO is also given an opportunity to produce additional evidences in rebuttal or counteract with the additional evidences furnished by assessee. Assessee furnishes 2 additional evidence. AO will also have to be given an opportunity to produce additional evidences if he wants to. Rule 29, at ITET level there are 2 possibilities or 2 circumstances. Number 1, first one is same as the fourth one at CIT appeal, JCIT appeal level, that ITET is satisfied that Income Tax Department has not given sufficient opportunity to the assessee to produce evidences, therefore assessee could not furnish. So now ITET can admit those additional evidences. Second, if ITET itself requires production of additional evidences like affidavit on a stamped paper, sometimes if evidence is not available, then ITET can say, okay, amount involved is small, don't search for the evidence, let it be, you give us an affidavit, that is an undertaking in writing that whatever you are stating is true and you are undertaking to indemnify the government or indemnify the President of India to make any loss good in case because of your claim, if there is a loss suffered by government, you will have to indemnify. Assessee will have to give that undertaking on a 500 rupee stamp paper. This I have done for many people. So that is possible where ITET itself requires production of additional evidence in order to enable it to pass the order. These 2 you will have to remember and these 4 you will have to remember along with points to be noted. Questions have come on these 2 multiple number of times, so please remember them. Next is appeal to High Court and Supreme Court. So appeal to High Court, Supreme Court is given in the Income Tax Act, but they are not governed by Income Tax Act. They are ideally governed by various court rules and Code of Civil Procedure 1908, CPC. Now appeal to High Court can be filed against the order of ITET only if it involves substantial question of law, that we have already studied. Time limit to file appeal is 120 days from the date of receipt of copy of order which is sought to be appealed against. Delay can be condoned by High Court, we know about it. High Court will formulate the question and High Court will answer the question. High Court also has a power to review its own order and High Court has a power to award cost also. Reviewing power is not available to CIT appeal or JCIT appeal, not available to ITET also, is available to Supreme Court for sure, that is mentioned in the Act. As far as High Court is concerned, it was not clarified in the Act. Then in 2016, there was a case law, CIT versus Meghalaya Steels. No need to remember the citation now after so many years. There in Meghalaya Steels case law, Meghalaya Steels Limited, Supreme Court delivered a classic decision saying that High Court always has an inherent power to review its own order. Okay. And Supreme Court also has a power to avoid cost. Okay, I was referring here. High Court time limit is 120 days. Delay can be condoned only on substantial question of law. It has a power to review its own order as per CIT versus Meghalaya Steels. No need to remember this case law. Same thing with Supreme Court. Time limit is 90 days. One extra point for Supreme Court. One can approach from High Court to Supreme Court only if High Court has certified it to be a fit case to be appealed against at Supreme Court level. Generally, questions in the exam at CA final don't come on High Court and Supreme Court. You can take them lightly. Okay. Now, this small point which is in the form of amendment by CBDT circular. Now, what happens is a first appeal can be filed by assessee. Now, suppose in the amount involved, I have also come across such situation multiple times in real life where the amount of addition made by AO is very negligible. AO has made addition of some 1000 rupees on which tax liability extra tax works out to be 300 rupees applying 30% tax rate. So, whether to file appeal or not, because appeal filing cost itself will be 1000 rupees. So, to file appeal to CIT appeal, JCIT appeal, there are 3 layers of fees. Fees highest is 1000 rupee. So, to save my 300 rupees of tax, whether I should spend 1000 rupee and file appeal or I should clear it off paying 300 rupees. Answer depending on the assessee. If assessee is a man of principle and is very much in a mood to fight with the department, then he can file appeal and spend years and years. Appeal is a time consuming procedure, requires money, time and energy. Some people prefer filing, some people let it go, don't file, clear off the tax even though order is prejudicial to assessee. Even if assessee does not agree to the addition, then also it is better to pay off 300 rupees. However, some people are man of principle, they go up to Supreme Court, they spend 1 crore rupees to recover 1 rupee. However, assessee can do that, department cannot do that. Department can file appeal only if there is a substantial amount involved. So, what is the rule for department? So, in order to make the appeal very cost effective, CBDT issues circular. In order to make appeal cost effective, CBDT keeps issuing circular every 5 years. As per CBDT circular, CBDT fixes up some monetary limit for tax effect. Monetary limit for tax effect. What is tax effect? Tax effect means the amount of tax, interest, fees, but not penalty. Amount payable by assessee excluding penalty. Meaning thereby, if assessee loses the appeal, then how much extra collection will be there? That is called amount of tax effect. CBDT fixes such time limit or monetary limit only for departmental authorities to file further appeal. These monetary limits are not applicable to assessee. Assessee can file appeal at all the 4 levels irrespective of the amount of tax involved. But department can file appeal. First of all, department cannot file appeal to CIT appeal, JCIT appeal, first appeal. Department can file appeal only from ITAT level, ITAT, High Court, Supreme Court. Department can file appeal to High Court, ITAT, High Court or Supreme Court only if the amount of monetary limit, only if the amount of tax effect involved in the matter exceeds the monetary limit fixed by CBDT. Limits are recently changed, ITAT, High Court, Supreme Court. Earlier, as per 2019 circular of CBDT, limit was for ITAT it was 50 lakh, amount of tax effect exceeds 50 lakh, then only department will file appeal to ITAT. For High Court it was 100 lakhs, that is 1 crore, and for Supreme Court it is exceeding 2 crore. However, in 2024 CBDT issued another circular September 24 and changed the limit. For ITAT they made it 60 lakhs, for High Court they made it 2 crore and for Supreme Court they made it 5 crore. So now department will not file appeal unless and until tax effect exceeds given limit, and this new limit will be applicable with immediate effect, will be applicable not only for the new appeal, will be applicable for the existing appeal also which are pending at so and so level. And because of this sudden shoot up from 2 crore to 5 crore, because of that Supreme Court dismissed many of the appeals where the tax effect was more than 2 crore but less than 5 crore. So as per latest circular, those appeals need to be dismissed. So question may come in the exam on this 60 lakhs, 2 crore, 5 crore. I mentioned it here, 60 lakh, 200 lakhs, 500 lakhs. CBDT circular dated 17 September 24. Okay, now we have revision, but revision I will record it by way of a separate video. This I am ending here. Appeal is over. Revision will be very interesting. Both are equally important. See you in the next video, which will be part 2 of this chapter. revision. Thank you very much. Till then, wish you all a very good luck.